So within this video, we're going to be looking at simplifying surds. Now, question first is, what is a surd? So a surd is a number that can't be simplified to remove a square root. So square root of 2 cannot be simplified any further, whereas we know that the square root of 4 is 2 or negative 2. So actually that can't be a surd because it can be simplified further. If we look at this as an example, so the square root of 18. Now I'm going to first write out my factors of 18. So I've got 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. And I'm deciding whether any of those are square numbers. Actually, I'm going to use 2 and 9 because 9 is a square number. That's going to help me to get rid of or simplify, not get rid of, it's helping me to simplify that surd down. So I've got root 18 is the same as writing the square root of 2 times 9 because we know that 2 times 9 is equal to 18. I can then write that as square root of 2 times by the square root of 9. Now, we know, it says above, but we already know that 2 isn't a square number, so I can leave that as it is. But we know that 9 is a square number. So the square root of 9 is positive or negative 3. Now, in this case, I'm just going to use the positive, so 3. So I can rewrite that as root 2 times 3, or 3 root 2. Let's do the same with this one, root 75. So factors of 75. Thinking of if there are any square numbers, so we don't have to write them all out because we're just looking for a highest square number that goes into or is a factor of 75. Now in this case that's going to be 25, so I've got 25 times 3, so I can rewrite root 75 as root 25 times by 3. Now let's have a look at that. If I split it into 2, I've got root 25 times root 3. We know that the square root of 25 is 5, so I can write that as 5 root 3, my final answer there. Okay, use those examples to answer this question here. So pause the video now and answer this question. So when we're looking at root 48, we're thinking of a square number that goes into 48. Now, we can take this two ways. The highest square number that's a factor of 48 is 16, because I can write 48 as 16 times 3. So in that case, I would have root 48 would be root 16 times 3, which is root 16 times root 3, which becomes 4 root 3. So C is my answer. However, some of you may have used 4, and you may have done root 48 is equal to root 4 times 12, which is root 4 times by root 12, which is 2 root 12. Now, that is an answer, but it's not simplified as much as possible because root 12 can be simplified further because it's the same as root 4 times 3. So the same as 2 root 3. So actually, when we simplify that further, it becomes 2 times 2 root 3, which becomes 4 root 3. So C is your answer to that one. Okay, can you do the same here? So give this a go, pause the video and try this question. So highest square factor, of 32 is also 16 because that's the same as 16 times 2. So square root of 32 is root 16 times 2, which is root 16 times root 2, which becomes 4 root 2. So the answer to that one is A. So, what I'd like you to do then, pause the video now and answer these questions here. Okay, when you've got your answers, compare them against these answers here. It may be some of them that you haven't simplified far enough, so go back and double check those.